This is a timeline for the official events that occur in the Underworld film series. The dates are derived solely from official sources, including the movies, official novelizations, and any other official sources such as websites, production notes, interviews, or scripts. In the 5th century, the warlord Alexander Corvinus was the sole survivor of a deadly plague that wiped out everyone in his village. In him, the infection mutated, making him the first immortal. In this century, Victor is also born, along with Alexander's twin sons, Marcus and William, as well as their other mortal brother. By the 6th century, William was bitten by a wolf and became the first werewolf, while Marcus was bitten by a bat, transforming him into the first vampire. Years later, Marcus turns a dying Victor to create an army aimed at hunting William, who was annihilating entire villages and creating more werewolves. After about 20 years, while Victor was amassing vampires to face the threat of William and his werewolves, Amelia was turned, and the first vampire coven was founded. Later, Amelia founded the Eastern Coven, and together with Victor they established the Nordic Coven. In 1202, William was captured, and Victor condemned him to be imprisoned forever, which went against Marcus's wishes, generating a hatred towards Victor that would last for centuries. In the year 1207, Lucian is born to a female werewolf imprisoned in the vampire's dungeon, and Victor spares his life. In 1210, Victor's wife Ilona dies while giving birth to Sonia. By the year 1218, Victor begins using Lucian to create more Lycans, aiming to have an army of immortal slaves under the control of the vampires. In the 14th century, Selene's father and her older sister Cecilia were born. In 1383, Selene is born, and a few years later, her father is tasked with building William's prison. In the 15th century, the events of Underworld Rise of the Lycans take place, where Sonia becomes pregnant with Lucian. Reyes becomes a Lycan, and Andreas Tanis frees Lucian, who kills Costa and leads several Lycans in a revolt against the vampires, unleashing the war between vampires and Lycans. Then Sonia is judged and executed in front of Lucian. The first vampire council is later killed by the Lycans. Years later, after these events, Victor kills Selene's family and turns her into a vampire, blaming the Lycans for her family's death. Later, Victor sends Samira to the Nordic Coven. At an unknown time, Samira leaves the Nordic Coven and joins the Eastern Coven, but her loyalty remains with Victor. After a great battle at the Lycans' fortress, Craven returns with Lucian's marked skin as proof of having killed him, while in reality they had allied against the vampire elders. In the 17th century, Tanis became the official historian of the vampire coven, but was accused of spreading lies and exiled to an ancient monastery. In the 19th century, Craven was appointed as regent of the Budapest coven by Victor. During the events of Underworld Endless War Part 1, Selene kills Darius. Sometime between the 1940s and 1950s, Erica is born. In 1967, the events of Underworld Endless War Part 2 occur, and Selene kills Regis. In 1975, Michael Corvin is born. In 1976, Erica is turned into a vampire by Craven. Between 1980 and 1990, David is secretly born in the Nordic Coven, being the son of Thomas and Amelia. Craven becomes suspicious of Amelia's mysterious absence in vampire society and sends Samira and her troops to investigate Thomas. As a result, Thomas returns to the Western Coven with David, and Amelia returns to the Eastern Coven. In October of 2003, the events of Underworld take place, in which Rigel is killed by Trix, Nathaniel is killed by Reyes, and Selene kills Trix. Michael is also bitten by Lucian, while Amelia and the Vampire Council return from the New World Coven, only to be killed by the Lycans. Pierce and Taylor are killed by Khan, who is later killed as well. Reyes is killed by Victor, and Lucian by Craven. Selene bites a dying Michael, turning him into the first hybrid, and shortly after, she kills Victor. Marcus awakens as a hybrid due to Lycan blood, leading to the events of Underworld Evolution, in which Marcus kills Craven and massacres the entire Budapest Coven. Tanis is killed by Marcus, and Selene becomes a hybrid by drinking the blood of Alexander Corvinus. Shortly after, Alexander ends himself, Marcus releases William from his cell, and Michael kills William, while Selene kills Marcus. Between 2003 and 2015, the events of Underworld Endless War Part 3 occur, during which Selene and Michael kill numerous enemies. Humanity discovers the existence of vampires and Lycans, leading to the purges, and Selene and Michael are captured by Antigen, but shortly after, Eve is born. In 2015, the events of Underworld Awakening also occur, in which Quint Lane is killed by Selene, while Jacob Lane is killed by Eve. Michael is abducted from Antigen's headquarters and is presumably killed by Marius. After this, Selene and Eve separate to keep Eve safe, and Selene has no knowledge of her daughter's whereabouts. In 2016, the events of Underworld Blood Wars take place, where Samira gains a position on the elite council of the Eastern Coven. Thomas is killed by Samira, and the Nordic Coven is attacked by Marius's army. Not long after these events, Selene is defeated by Marius and Alexia, and Marius launches an attack on the Eastern Coven, aided by his vampire lover Alexia, who is killed by Samira. It is revealed that Selene was resurrected through a unique ritual of the Nordic Coven. Samira is presumably killed by David, as she is stabbed in a manner similar to how Lucian stabbed Victor, who did not actually die at that time. Shortly after, Selene kills Marius, and Marius's Lycan horde dissolves. Selene, David, and Lena are chosen as the new vampire elders, and Selene reunites with Eve. Well folks, that's all for today. I hope you enjoyed this brief recap of the timeline events from the Underworld movies. If you like this video and want to see more content like this, please subscribe, hit the like button, and leave a comment with any suggestions you might have. Hey, don't go just yet. If you enjoyed my video, I'd love to recommend another one for you to watch.